Hi, my name is Rahim, and I currently live in Thailand. The nickname that most people call me, my friends, family, close ones, would be Champ. And a couple of my friends now relate me to Bunny.
Hi, my name is Fatima and I'm currently living in London. My very close friend call me Fotish, and then my colleagues and other friends call me Fota.
Hi, my name is Shehrose, and I'm currently in Dallas, Texas. My dad used to call me Guria. My friends call me Shay or Choti. And then a lot of my other friends that are older, they call me Pataka.
Hi, I'm Ameenah and I'm currently in Vancouver, Canada. My close family used to call me Nanni Pari. Uh, and my friends calls me Amy or Minu. And my other friends calls me Patebaz.
Who here is an early bird? Who here is more of a night person? Who here is a late night snacker? Who here is always running late? Who here has a hard time throwing things away? Who here thinks there's a gap between who you are and what you allow people to see? Who here feels like they spend too much time on screens? Who here feels overwhelmed by events in the world? Who here worries a lot? Who here feels anxious meeting new people? Who here is at this point in life looking for new friends? Who here at this point in their life is looking for love? Who here from time to time feels alone? Who here would say they are a foodie? Who here would say that they're funny? Who here has experienced prejudice or racism? Who here finds it hard to explain who Ismailis are? Who here would like to move somewhere else one day? Who here makes a great cup of chai? Can you tell me about a memory you have that involves chai?
I think my most fond memory of chai is morning Jamaat khana chai, like leaving Bandagi like with your friends and then going to get chai while everything's dark. And that was like my first memory of chai actually. So.
I think for me, chai is more about family time also because we have sheer chai. It's like milk tea in GBO in Tajikistan. So we drink this a lot in the morning. So I associate it with family and early mornings.
For me, chai is, yes, the family time, and especially with my sisters because we were five sisters. So it was all about fun. And one has to pick up that who is making a good chai. So I was never the one, but yes, I always enjoyed the chai.
My fond memory would be, this one time in Kampala. So that's where I grew up. And my Nanu, who was Jamaat Bhai, asked me to make chai for one of the events, right? And I'd never done that in my life. And he kind of guided me and said, "Well, I'll give you a few mixtures, just make it." And I guess after that, I just started making Jamaat Khana chai. And so that's a memory that I carry because I owe my seva of that capacity, a lot of my seva, but that capacity seva to my Nanu.
What is exciting in your life right now?
So I live on an island, so that's pretty exciting. I like the island life. I've kind of got used to it. But I guess mine would be my goal, my travel goal. Nobody has done every country on a Pakistani passport, and I think that's in my opinion, that's the Everest of travel, right? So instead of getting another stronger passport, which my friends have recommended me to do, Japan would be next, or Montenegro. I rely on some of the big visas, right? So for Pakistani passport, or those with slightly weaker passports, right? My recommendation would be to get some of the bigger visas. So let's say UK visa, for example, allows you to go into some 37 countries without getting a visa.
Well, right now I'm doing my master's and everything is very much new because the thing that is happening in the US, I thought it would be the same in London, but it's so much different. So you have to learn about the culture again, and I'm meeting new people from different countries. I'm getting to be a student again and to meet new people. This is the excited part right now for me. And learning also about the clinical psychology every day, like I'm being shocked about the information I'm taking from the lectures. So this is like everything is pretty much new for me right now.
So right now I'm really excited about my pink hair. I just love it. Apart from the present moment, there are big opportunities that's coming my way for my business for expansion. And after this shoot, I have a meeting in Squamish. So I will be going there, having fun, and at the same time, enjoying the, growth opportunity.
I'm currently in rehearsals for a stage play with a bunch of really cool Pakistani actors. So that's going to be, we're going to do our first show in November and then hopefully go on tour over the US. So that'll be fun. I'm excited about that. And we're also going to be shooting a short film.
If you don't mind telling me sort of a bit about your journey with mental health.
So I feel like I've been struggling with mental health for a really long time. When I was 11, my dad passed away, and I think the journey kind of started from there. A couple years after that, my brother was diagnosed with cancer, and then he ended up passing away also. And so that was really difficult to kind of, be in school and then deal with like so much different types of loss. And then not it being so outwardly discussed within our community. So I did find like a lot of support, like within school and stuff, like within school counseling and things like that. And then after I moved to Chicago, I got a lot of support from like the Jamaati institutions in terms of my mental health and like trying to help me kind of acclimate to Chicago and like, continue my journey onwards to that. And then, my grandparents passed away after that. And then I got married and then I got divorced and just a lot of trauma basically in life. So my journey with mental health is like still going on. But with all of these different experiences, I think I've gained a lot of like tools and knowledge to kind of help myself heal and cope with things that life kind of throws my way. And I try to, go to therapy as much as I can. I journal a lot. I talk to my friends. I do a lot of things that make me internally happy because, we can't control like our external circumstances, but we can control like how we live our day-to-day lives. And so, I don't think it's something that ever like goes away completely. It's something we have to learn to maybe like compartmentalize. And healing, I believe, also comes in like waves. So some days you're like, great. And then some days you can't get out of bed, And so just trying to find like a happy balance between the present and like your future goals. And then also like dealing with the past and those like random memories that'll come up, with like a song or like a certain fruit or something, but I think having a lot of friends and having a good support system is really helpful and holding on to your faith. And going to Jamaat kind of gives me a lot of peace as well. So those are some ways that I kind of cope with that.
So, as you said, right, it was never a point of discussion earlier on in my life, like when you grew up in Uganda, it was never discussed. I lost my dad about in 2016, I guess. And then I lost my nanu. My nanu, both I guess both of them were very strong pillars of my life. I call them pillars. The foundation of an individual, right? Like my nanu is responsible for my voluntary service. 2005, my best friend moved from Uganda to US, and I, as an introvert, had a hard time making friends. So my nanu is the one who showed me the direction of service. He kind of brought me into this realization that there's enormous happiness, a blessing, and you just, when you start serving, you will feel inner happiness, right? And another major thing that happened that year was my introduction to badminton, which is my favorite sport. It is something that like when I have tough days, I like to rely on. So I don't go for counseling, but I rely on things that give me happiness. Travel is number one. If I can take a flight to anywhere that I can, I will like to take it. Otherwise, I like to go for a long drive with some music on. I'd like to go play badminton. So, yes, these are not very the typical solutions to what people talk about, but these are, in my opinion, factors or reliable, you know support systems that you can have, right? You can talk to people, you can journal, whatever suits you. In my opinion, you should do it, whether it be counseling, whether it be going Jamaat Khana. I live on an island and there's no Jamaat Khana here. So I often tell people Jamaat Khana is 1 hour by flight for me, right? And I would like to go as much as I can, which I do, but not having that element in my life, I can still rely on other factors. Losing my dad, that gap is never going to feel. A lot of people say that time heals it. I don't think so. In my opinion, you just learn to live with it. It makes you stronger, sure. Like when I go for a drive, I imagine my dad is sitting next to me and we're listening to a favorite song, and I'd go for a long drive.
So my struggle with mental health started at school. I was a very anxious student. So it was very hard for me to come to the blackboard. The Soviet Union system is you come to the blackboard and you speak up. So for me, it was really very hard. Um, every time I came to the blackboard, I was really very anxious. I couldn't speak up. So that's when I understood that I have some issues that nobody's understand maybe. And I started searching on my own, and then I decided that I will be psychologist in order to help myself. And I did. I mean, I went to Kyrgyzstan, I studied psychology, and it helped a lot, honestly saying. I learned a lot about anxiety and how it works and how can I help myself, and I did. And finally, like the last time I was reading the Farmans at the Jamakhana, like I was so much courageous, like reading, doing the public speaking. It was very easy for me, and still it is. So that's like the level that I came to. And then when I started working for humanitarian organization, I came to understanding that, um, especially in the developing countries, like it's so much underrated. Not only in the developing countries, but all over the world. Like nobody really pays attention to mental health and problems. And like in Tajikistan, for instance, there is no school psychologist. So there might be students like me who struggle with anxiety at school, but they don't have access to support. And then I felt like there is something that I'm missing. I mean, some knowledge maybe. So I decided to do my master's, and I hope to go back and use this knowledge again for the community and as a whole for the Tajik people, so that there will be more access to mental health.
So same like Fatima. I did not even know that I was feeling, the burden of abandonment. I was the third child, a third girl child. We all are sisters, but I was adopted by my aunt. So could not get sense of it, that why me, I'm in the middle, my dad is a rich person, he's not poor. So I can understand that why I feel the need of going to connect, but always that rejection that hurts me. And that led me, first thing was, from a very early age, from my teen, I was very regular in morning meditation, morning Jamaat Khanas. So that kind of actually helped me to sustain that pain, but I was not even aware. And that led me to go into understanding that why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling. I'm a clinical hypnotherapist. So that journey took me to this part where now I very well understand. It's been now 24 years. So, healing journey, again, like Shehrose said, it comes in waves. And I says it comes in layers, same like traumas. So it's an ongoing process every time we learn new things. So right now I'm at that side where I definitely understand that every event that happened, the feeling is same, even if it happened in childhood. But if we feel the same feeling in the adulthood, there's a triggers that goes back to the childhood. If we just change the perspective and a narrative in our head, then things looks different, and that gives us empowerment to move ahead in our life. And like Rahim said, time doesn't heal, and that's so true. It's just a very obsolete kind of a statement, because it's just that we suppressed it and we live with it, and without knowing that why we are feeling stuck in certain areas of our life. And grief is so natural, and it is the process of the grief. And when we accept it, things looks different in our life.
What do you see as issues, concerns about mental health in the world around you?
I would say what I see a lot is a lot of escapism. A lot of people just kind to put a band-aid over their issue and keep going, and no one does the work. No one wants to sit down and do the healing and do the hard stuff, and they just want to keep going yeah, I'm fine. And then what usually happens is it shows up in other ways, such as it'll show up as an illness in your body, or you're not able to lose this stress weight that you gain, because of your cortisol. Also, I just see a lot of people then maybe blowing up later, it comes out later in life, all these things that they didn't deal with in the past. So yeah, it's talked about a lot, but I do think that people don't practice it as much as they should. We're getting better, but I think everyone just wants to kind of be the tough guy and be hey, I got it. I'm good. I don't need anything. And, there's a lot of strength in actually facing your demons and then healing from that, rather than just kind of, suppressing it and keep going with life. So that's something that I've noticed.
I totally agree with Shiroz at this point, because yes, when you suppress whatever emotion which is not properly processed, then it does show up in your body, because of course body is not separate than your mind. So autoimmune diseases, when you go to the doctor, they don't have any clue that why you have that. And now when we talk about genetics, now there is a much more talk about epigenetics. So we can switch on and off our genes. It's in our hand. But if the stress level is too high, you can find all kind of illnesses that's coming up your way, and because your defense mechanism is low. So everything starts with how we feel, how we react, and what happened to us, and the environment, for sure. Now coming to the question that I do see a lot of awareness at this time where I am now, but not all people have this opportunity to come go for understanding and awareness or therapy, because yes, I do see that people say it's so expensive, right? To go for a therapy, and therapy is not just one day thing. It's like ongoing process, because healing is an ongoing process. You cannot say, okay, come to me, I'll fix you in 1 hour. I cannot fix you. I can help you to be aware of the issues, right? But you are the one who is going to work towards that. So that self motivation, self belief and self-awareness, which is needed to solve any kind of issue. So I do see a lot of awareness, but still the system, the government, I don't see that they are helping us to help others.
Yeah, actually, I think there are many problems, starting with awareness. As Amina said, like there is the awareness in Canada is, for instance, much more like on a top level. But in Central Asia, um, people think if you have some issues, you're weak. So if you go to psychologists, there's a certain stigma that probably you are crazy person, or like like if you have these issues, it's so much stigmatized. I mean, people who have these issues, they're under stigma. And I think normalizing it, it needs so much time, at least for the government to understand the seriousness of the problem, like making mental health, I would say, available to all is the goal number one that should be on top, because World Health Organization has proven that the mental health problem will raise year by year, like everywhere in the world. So there definitely should be some, I don't know, something from the government that should support the population around the world.
I think that there should be awareness more on the element that social media is a big illusion. When I'm traveling and I post a photo of me traveling, let's say in a new country, there should be awareness given that behind the scenes there is a lot more than this person is going through than what is just being portrayed. you know um, that element, I think, is lacking, right? Nobody speaks about that. Also, in the Jamati element, strictly speaking, from the Jamati perspective, I don't think the issue is still addressed as much as it should be. The part about therapy being expensive, right? There could be a system where we kind of connect Ismailis from around the world to seek professional help from around it. If I'm here and my therapist is in London, probably I'm more comfortable, right? Also, the role of faith has evolved, right? We grew up watching our parents and our grandparents devote so much time to Jamaat Khana and serve. That amount of time that went into Khane has now changed, right? A lot of people nowadays can bluntly tell you, I don't have time to go to Khane, right? And that's a very bold statement. You don't have time for faith. And that role, Amina was speaking about meditation as a key guiding strength seeker in the mindset, right?
This Fatima's thing that in Central Asia and in developing countries, we still see a lot of these issues when parents don't know. So still we are getting raising children that are not aware and facing the same issues like in my generation, I would say. And then even Fatima had the same thing that she cannot come and write it on the board because it's all about how you have been treated at home, at school, and that will be with you forever because you think that this is the truth about me that these people are telling that I'm not good enough and I can't do it.
When you are going through a tough time, what brings you joy?
Okay, so yes, the overwhelming situation is very natural. Even with 24 years of the practicing and meditation, I'm a vivid meditator. Okay, but I do also feel overwhelming. And here I would say perimenopause, yes. So, but how to overcome it is always I start slow mornings. So I start my morning with that slow pace where I am dedicating my 1 hour totally to that, watching bird, listening to Quran and listening to some positive podcast. And that gives me the motivation to start my day. And of course, the visualization that I do for every single day with affirmation that my day would look like a very productive day where I'm feeling very joyful. Every client of mine feel happy when they leave my office. So it's all the projection that I tell my mind to do. And because it's familiar for my mind now, because I visualize it, I do see it happening as well. And yeah, I mean, this is my thing. And Jamaat Khana, of course, every Friday, I'm not a regular one, but in the morning, I do wake up for the meditation. But Fridays are and I do feel no matter how tired I am, but connecting to people, meeting with people, that gives me a kind of a understanding of that what is my role in this world, because I am now having this many people connected to me.
Yeah, my immediate would be going for a drive or badminton, especially badminton. I don't mind if I lose the game. I don't really mind what happens with it. But just going and spending time on the court and you know, just that tiny little boy who fell in love with the game so many years ago is a great reminder for me. My annual sort of rituals in this perspective would be taking a trip to the Maldives. Every year, I carve out 3 to 4 nights and I go to the Maldives and just spend time in pure nature. I go to Uganda once a year. Every year, I go to Kampala. I go spend some time at my dad's grave, and I just have a conversation with him. I'm blessed that I can do that at the moment. So 3 4 nights, whatever, and I'll go and have a conversation. I'll just share. You know, people who pass away are with us all the time, right? But just going there gives me that peace of mind.
I love Bollywood, so I will watch a bunch of Bollywood movies to get my mind off of it. And I love dancing. I've been dancing since I was 4. So I'll just, play like a bunch of really cool Punjabi music and just like go at it. I'm also a poetry writer. So yeah, when I get like very super in my feels, I will like play like Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan or like Ghulam Hussain or something and just do my shairi. And yeah, talking to friends is like great. They all have so many things going on in their life, so that kind of helps us kind of distract ourselves. And like, when you like vent to your friend, like they vent back, so it's like a nice little venting session. So those are the things that I do in the short term.
I think I'll go with 4 advices from my life experience. Firstly, it's grounding, because social media is always taking us somewhere else. We're not here and now. So the first thing is always to be here and now. Like you can look at 5 or 10 things around yourself and bring you here and now. So like, I'm right now here. Here's my hands, my face. And then breathing exercise, as Ameenah said, it's very helpful at the time when you really feel anxious, or you feel that you're somewhere else or something's going on. Breathing helps. So you breathe like deeply. You take maybe again 10 deep breaths. And then the third one would be meditation or dua or zikr. You can do the 3 things that really helps me a lot, doing zikr and spending like 1 hour for my dua or meditation. And then the 4th one would be self-talk. So I would really encourage people to do the self-talk, healthy self-talk, like ask yourself what's bothering you right now. Why is it bothering you? How can you help yourself? Because only you can help yourself at the time when you know that something's wrong.
4 Choice is a great initiative by the community, fostering global connections and meaningful conversations. I thoroughly enjoyed being part of it and appreciating its warmth.
This topic is really prevalent within the US Jamaat as well as the global Jamaat, and I hope our discussion gives you guys a little bit of insight and inspiration on how to better cope with this.
I truly enjoyed the discussion and gained a valuable insight from everyone.
It was such a privilege to meet fellow Ismaili brothers and sisters, share our views, share our opinions, and just speak about a topic that is, becoming very critical. each passing day. Saying a huge thank you, and absolutely loved being part of the show.